did. We're back to 500 now, okay? Now, all that work that we've done, we have to continue to move forward, okay? But we can't feel good about what we've done today, tomorrow. Today you can feel good, all right?
Talk about he's first team all defense, you ask me. Hardest worker in the NBA, never stops. The best teammate to have. Hats off to him.
And I just love playing this game. Love the rivalry. Love these intense big games, and that's what I live for.
FuzzJockRadio.
Wow, thank you, audience. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Holy cow. You guys are ready for this, huh? You're ready for action? Are you ready for some action? I got to move that. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, you are. You are ready for some action. Well, we got some sports. Whoa, you guys just stopped. They just stopped.
We brought up sports, and they were just like, "Nah, I'm out."
Sports. Oh yeah, then they just leave. No, guys, come back, please.
It's cold outside. Come on,
it's cold.
Stay in here.
Don't. That's a troublesome song, right? We don't like that song.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah, that's
it's a little rapey.
Like the last couple of years, I've been seeing that it's like the controversial song of the year. Like every last couple of years, every year,
because everyone forgets that they had this debate last year.
Oh, because of time travel?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Forward.
Okay. So let's start this off correctly, C-Dubs. We are FuzzJockRadio. I am one of your hosts. Well, not actually host, Hest, because we call everybody Hess on the show, and I'm not going to re-explain myself every time like we explain that song is a controversial song. But my name is Hest. No, my name is not Hest. It's Fuzzy. I'm your Hest, Fuzzy, one of them. And we have another Hest all the way out in California.
C-Dubs.
And that's it for today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pack up, get going. Thanks for listening. Yep.
Thank you.
No, that's Charles. Can I call you Charles?
You can call me Charles.
Can I call you C-Dubs?
Yes.
Okay. So Charles.
Don't call me late for dinner.
That's an overdone joke too. Luckily, we're not a comedic podcast. We're not a comedy podcast here. We're serious. We talk about sports. We're not we don't play any music because it's a podcast. So if you like music, make sure to just stay tuned in to FuzzTalkRadio.com. Usually we have 3 Hess, but this week we have 2. We had a third. Don't worry. We had a third Hess lined up. Unfortunately, not. How do I say this correctly?
Well, we had a Hall of Famer lined up, but they had a Hall of Fame life to live, and were unable to make it to the show.
That's great. That's a great way to say it. We will have that Hall of Famer in the future, possibly. If that Hall of Fame life doesn't get in the way. But Hall of Fame lives mean that you get married, you have kids, which means you have priorities. And that's totally cool. Totally cool. So tonight, bear with us. It's just Fuzz and Dubs.
Fuzz and Dubs.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Fuzz and Dubs.
The audience might not, because it might get slow. We have a full hour to cover.
Pull up.
I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember. So
how was my week?
Oh yeah, that's what we do. Thanks for keeping me in line, Charles, because I totally forgot where we go after we introduced each other. So that's what we're gonna do. C-Dubs is going to keep me in line, and then I will keep the ball rolling. Right? Is that what you call it? Mm-hmm. Keep the ball rolling. Yep. That's something I wanted to mention too. Is that we had a guest lined up, and then things happened, so we didn't all of a sudden didn't have a guest, and I was going to say, and we keep the ball rolling, right? That's how that says. That's how you say that.
When you can't pick up the ball if you didn't drop it first.
Well, I didn't drop the ball, did I?
Doesn't help my phrase.
Well, if the rocks fall off the cliff, You move out of the way. Okay. So, how was your week?
It was good. I was kept on my recovery route, so I didn't do a lot other than watch Rocco's Modern Life.
Wait a minute. I'm not. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm not
Mhm.
paying attention because I didn't I'm thinking about the rocks analogy falling off the cliff, and I didn't get any reaction to that. So I'm not. How was that analogy? Did you like it?
It was confusing
Okay, that's kind of
because I thought you were going to talk about The Rock, the great one.
Oh, well, Dwayne Johnson.
And I was like, if Dwayne Johnson's falling off a cliff, I'm going to stand there and catch him. So
Is
when you said you move out of the way, it confused me.
That makes a lot of sense because I was thinking about Dwayne earlier today, and how I want to just call him The Rock from now on, and it's not Dwayne Johnson anymore. Because
So going backwards.
It's going backwards. Yeah, it's time travel. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Can you say Rock? That's what the other question I had was like. Can you just say Rock, or do you have to say The Rock? Is his
The
full
Rock.
name The Rock? Is that trademarked
It's
like
The
that?
Rock, because it was Rocky Maivia.
That's a
And then
movie.
he
That's
just dropped
that's a
that and
movie.
went by The Rock.
Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, because we are not an analogy podcast, we're a sports podcast. Okay, Charles, how was your week? What did you do since the last time we talked to you? I'm sorry about that.
Watched a lot of Rocco's Modern Life.
Wait a minute. Really?
Yeah, I
That's
have it all
very-
DVR'd on my YouTube TV, and so I just went to season 1 and hit play.
That's very coincidental that Rocco sounds like The Rock.
Yeah, we just keep bringing up rocks here. Rocco, Rocky,
This is not a
Rock,
rock podcast.
rocks.
Not a rock podcast. Okay, so you watched a
roll.
lot of Rocco's Modern Life, and how was that for you?
It reminded me why I loved it so much.
Okay.
And I was just kept, even though I knew there were so many adult jokes, I kept finding more that I didn't remember from previous times. That I was like, this show is brilliant, and it's still rated G, which is for everyone. And it has great jokes like Heifer's watching television. And the idea is for the joke is that he flips the channel every time something interesting happens. And then he acts like there's nothing on TV and he's bored. So the things he's watching are like World Series and stuff like that. It's like 3-2 pitch. Here it goes. Oh my God. And he flips the channel.
Sure.
But then one of them is, it's literally the news announcer's like, and the president's going down in his motorcade. And then you hear, and then it goes screaming, and then he flips the channel.
Wow. That's not just like adult humor. That's dark adult humor. That's really dark.
I thought it was pretty good though that they snuck that in there.
That is good. It's just that's really dark.
Yeah.
Because what that's
I did catch, though.
audience. What that if you're not as quick as us, what that's referring to is John F. Kennedy, JFK, was a president, and he unfortunately during a motorcade, and a motorcade is when the president's like in a parade of cars
for him,
and stuff, and JFK got shot and died, assassinated,
died.
right? And
Yes.
not cool.
Not cool.
And that's what that joke was referring to on Rocco's Modern Life, is that on TV, he's like, so if they would make a episode now, the TV would show World Trade Center happening, right?
Yeah, it would probably be like 9/11.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
And then you flip the channel.
Yep.
There's
nothing on TV.
There's nothing on TV. Yeah. I also did notice though they did censor some episodes because I know of some jokes that when I was watching them were not in the episodes anymore. Like there was one where they're in a hotel that's called the No-Tell Motel. So it's like an hourly rate hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then the joke is that they're like, you're going to stay all night. And then when they're in there, you just hear Rocco go, heifer. And then it cuts. they didn't have him reacting like Heifer did. Like they didn't have that part in it. It just cut that part out, and it cut the scene shorter too. Yeah, I was like, oh, I know that there's more joke here, but they cut this out because it's I guess it's pretty not appropriate.
Huh. Yeah, that's not really. There's a lot of
It's funny
shows. There's
for adults.
there's a lot of shows in our past that had a lot of adult humor in it.
Well, Tom Kenny called that era the Renaissance of cartoons.
Okay.
And I think we're living in a new renaissance of cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just.
It's like, how was your week?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was just gonna say, I've started watching Bob's Burgers. A lot of people have seen Bob's Burgers before. I have not. I've seen maybe a couple episodes here and there. So I decided that I would just start from season 1 and episode 1 and go from there. And I'm now through season 3, and
Awesome.
I didn't realize how raunchy that show is. I didn't know it was so. It's dirty.
So the original premise for the show is they were actually supposed to be like cannibals.
What? Really?
Yes, and then
that's the
he
first
pitched the
episode.
show, and they were like, "That's a little. Do they have to be cannibals?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you'd want that." And they were like, "We don't need it to be that weird." It was something like that.
Well,
And
that
he
was
was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll just do it this way then."
Is that's why the first episode's that episode?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's good. However, like, unlike Rocko's Modern Life, I don't think that Bob's Burgers is going after the kid audience.
Not at all.
You know, like, we're in a renaissance of cartoons again, but definitely they know that, well, censors are around now instead of like
They were then.
I mean, like,
I think there's less censorship now, which is why there's a renaissance.
Okay. Yeah.
It's because before they were skirting the rules. Now they're just going to places that don't have rules.
Well, because now they can, because now cartoons are viewed as not just kids, not just for kids. However,
and
cartoons
there's
have
already
always
precedent.
cartoons have always been pushing the boundaries, haven't they? Like, even like
Absolutely. And they've
Coyote
always been
and
for everyone.
Roadrunner, and
The Tom and Jerry, they're murdering the cat basically. I mean, he survives, but they're doing things that would kill him. It's pretty, it's what's going on. So what? You know that it's cartoon.
Is that good for kids? We're not going to answer that. We're not going to answer that because this is not Charles. Charles, this is not a cartoon podcast.
Healthy mix.
This is a sports podcast, and we should probably keep moving on here.
Are you ready for some football?
But that's what I did this last week. Watched a lot of Bob's Burgers, and it was good. Football time, right? Football. Monday Night Football just happened, and it says in the notes here, Monday Night Football 30-10. No labels. Like, what's going on here? Like, is it 30 minus 10? Like, okay, I know the answer is 20 because I'm good at math, like we previously established in previous podcasts. Or is it 30 monkeys, 10 gorillas? What's going on here, Charles?
That's the score of tonight's game. Tonight's game was between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, dude. Of course, right? Because we're a sports podcast. There's Monday Night Football. Of course, it's a fucking score, dude. Like,
yeah,
I'm just
gorillas and monkeys, though. That was a good guess.
I'm just trying. Where are we going with this? Like, so I'm just trying to let you know when you make the notes, because, okay, audience, I don't know if you guys remember from last week, I gave Charles the reins to make the notes, and throughout the whole episode, I was like, I'm a little lost here, because normally I make the notes, or we contribute a lot, right?
But you made this note.
I didn't. I would have put down
this note.
30-10. Okay, 30-10.
Yes.
Buccaneers won. Of course, Tom Brady. Who did they play? The Giants.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty much it.
remember
I mean, the Mannings ignored the game. That's how much it was riveting.
It was fucking funny. So on ESPN2, they have the Mannings do commentary on the game, and they usually have a guest, and they just rib each other. They don't really talk about the game a whole lot, which makes it a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And during tonight's game, the Giants got a touchdown, like one of their only touchdowns during the game.
Their only one.
And they didn't mention it. They didn't notice. They just kept on talking to Kevin Hart the whole time. It was fucking hilarious. And then they went to commercial break, and it was great.
I guarantee you Kevin Hart was far more interesting than the Giants' touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking about how he was really good at football in 8th grade and stuff.
I bet he's on more fantasy teams than the guy who scored that touchdown.
Probably.
Kevin Hart.
Probably was. Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty big stinker though for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it ended early.
Yeah.
I mean, it went into full regulation time, but
No, they were like, we're done. This is everyone go home. Calling it.
Once again, I didn't watch any of the game. Right, like I saw a couple things. They had Condoleezza Rice on as commentary as well for some reason, which made no sense. But I gathered that she likes Alabama State really a lot, and that's something, I guess. The Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers.
Yay!
Which is
great. I guess it's
great.
always good to beat the Packers.
It's great. There's that big rivalry going on.
Yeah. 500 now.
500 now.
Chip chair and a chance.
Man, I was there's like topics that I wanted to talk about tonight, but I totally forgot to write them down in the notebooks. I lost one of my notebooks.
Are you saying you had controversial Vikings news?
I had some controversial things to say. That's for sure.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it was going to be about the Vikings. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You knew that you were going to say something?
Well, one of the things that I was going to say is that, like...
So you're going to say it now because was.
Well, I mean, really, the Vikings beat Green Bay and rivalries, right?
Yes, rivalry.
Are we, like... When do we get to be about the time... do we always have to have rivalries in our lives?
I think it's
Is it healthy to have competition? I mean, we grew up being told that.
I think competition depends on what things are. I mean, everything's with a grain of salt, but I mean, competition, sure, yeah, competition is good. It makes you strive to be better, because whether that's better in who you are, better at running a multi-billion-dollar corporation, it's probably good to have competition. I mean, otherwise there's just one person's the best, one thing is the best, and that's it.
Are you sure? Or I don't know, maybe this is too maybe we need a third person, the third Hest here to talk this deep, but maybe we could all just get along, right? Maybe we don't need to have competition, and we could just help each other. And then instead of just being one person trying to be better than the other, we're all one together and we're all helping each other.
Well, I think that's a wonderful way to look at it, but that applies to most things in life, but I wouldn't say sports.
Oh, and those people that don't want that, I hate them. Oh man. It's like they're so wrong at what they think is right, and I don't know. I just don't know. But Green Bay and the Vikings do have a big rivalry. You know where I'm going with this? Because oh boy, those people, maybe they should just leave and I'll just stay. But the Vikes, but this is not a philosophy podcast. This is a sports podcast. The Vikes versus Green Bay. The Vikings won. We came down to the last play again. Or the last who scored last, and Zimmer he waited out the game, he had the ball last, and he was going to kick a field goal, and he waited to there's 4 seconds left, and then his quote was like, I figured the best way to beat Aaron Rodgers was to keep him off the field.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
He did not do what our friend Robert wanted him to do. Robert kept on tweeting he should have gone for two. He should have gone for two. And if he would have gone for two after each touchdown and got it, they wouldn't have been so close.
Well, if they would have even gotten it 50%, it would have even equaled out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have had a better chance at having more than, I don't know.
So good job for the
I'm
Vikings.
a big go for two guy, always.
I think that they should now that they have it. Like why not?
Jefferson and Cook, figure it out.
Figure it out. Quarterback sneaks. Figure it out.
Philly Vikings special.
Like maybe a draw play. If you have if the defense is an ISO, maybe do a draw play. Maybe
Option.
And do an option pass.
Triple option. You could have who did that? Did the Packers do that?
What about a triple Alabama dog? You could do one of those
Whoa.
too. So after this last week's game, puts Kirk Cousin in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why didn't I not count this before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 7th out of 11 players. I sampled 11 players. He is 7th out of 11. 7-11. Oh, just like the episode 11. Lucky 11.
The month is 11 too.
He has 200.
It's 11/22 double 11. That's more 11s. Anyway,
what?
The date is 11/22. So then 11 twice is 22, and then it's also 20/21. So then there's another 2/2 double 11s.
Jeez. Oh boy. And then there's two of us, which is if you separate us, this is 1 and 1, and then it's 11.
So the numerology tells us that this is the awakening of
Kirk
the
Cousins.
Aquarius.
Oh boy.
So the Vikings win the Super Bowl. That's what you're saying.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, we're 5-5 now, so watch out. Yeah, he has the most passing yards out of 7th out of 11 people. So good job, Kirk. Sorry that we've been making fun of you. Nah, I'm not going to take that back.
No.
Not until you get your vaccine. Speaking of vaccines, Antonio Brown of the Buccaneers.
Always in the news.
Yeah, he loves being in the news. It seems like one time he wanted to be in the news so bad that he almost froze off his feet. Remember that?
Yes.
That he had some cryogenics things going on, and then he's just like, "Oh, I can't even practice because my feet almost froze off." It was like Mr. Freeze from Batman, froze his feet, and then Poison Ivy decided to come up with a hammer and hammer it.
He's like, "Ice to meet you."
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. How did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you were
I was
there. But Antonio Brown obtained a fake COVID vaccine card so he could avoid NFL protocols, according to his former live-in chef. Oh, the chef gave it away. Brown's girlfriend told Los Angeles chef Steven Ruiz in a text message July 2nd that Brown was willing to pay $500 if he could get a Johnson & Johnson vaccine card. Oh, boy. And then the text it said, "Can you get the COVID cards?" "I can try," he said. J&J shot AB said he would give you $500. Oh, boy. Charles?
And this sucks too, because we were just praising Tampa Bay Buccaneers for all being vaccinated.
I was going to say,
and then it comes rearing its ugly head that, oh, that's right, they have a bunch of fake vaccination cards in the league. And here's one of them.
Could this be the only one?
No, absolutely not.
If there's,
Do you think this is the only person he asked?
If there's,
This is the person who said no. He said, "I'll try," and then turned in these text messages.
did he?
As far as the story goes,
I don't even know what to say about that. It's
it's another thing he
gross.
would do.
It's just gross. I mean, it's not about him. It's more about like people, that type of person. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if he's doing it, that means that there's other people that are doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I always look at things like that, kind of like in that light. You know, because this is a big world, and which makes that means that statistics exist, and with statistics, like a good example here, like I have this really awesome example. This is how I always explain it to people. So there was this club called the Haze back in the day, and it was like the club, you know, like where people would go and dance on Friday nights and whatnot.
And we're talking like
yeah. And it would get packed on Friday nights. So, like not until like right at midnight, 1 o'clock.
Grossly packed.
Like grossly packed. Way too many people, right? Which means that there would be long lines in the bathroom, and then long lines also for getting drinks. Not a friend of mine anymore, but I had a friend back in the day that told me, if you need to take a piss, just take a piss at the bar while you're waiting to get a drink. It's easy. Easy, they said. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? If I have a friend or acquaintance or whoever that person was now, if I have somebody that I know that does that
and was willing to tell another person, means they're not the only
that
one.
they piss on the bar while they're waiting for a drink, that means that they cannot be the only person doing that.
No. Well,
it's gross.
This makes me think of...
It's gross. And it's just like this vaccine shit. It's gross that you're fucking getting a fake vaccine so you don't have to go through protocols. Stop lying. Just be like Kirk. And
just
tell people you don't that you're fucking stupid and you don't want the vaccine. Just tell people. Who cares? Like, you're a big, strong football player.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking stupid that these grown adults are lying to people. It's gross.
Yeah. Grow up.
Grow up, because it's not fun and games. People are fucking dying. And if you spread that to somebody else because you're lying about your status and that person dies, that's fucking on you. Absolutely on you. Sorry.
All right.
So with the games this week, that makes that the Patriots are still on. Are they on top? 7-4, Chiefs 7-4, Ravens 7-3, and Titans 8-3. And then our Vikings are,
okay,
5-5. That's right. Packers are 8-3 now.
5-5 and 8-3. But if we win next week and they lose, then it's really 6 and 8. But we have a win over them, so that means it's actually like one less. So really, we're only like almost one game behind.
I can see that. I can see where you're getting that from, and why why everybody's excited for them to be 5-5.
Yeah, see, so we're basically one game behind Green Bay.
Yeah. Well, okay. The Lions are. Why did they have to tie that game?
I like that they tied that game. They're not good enough to win a game.
Well, they're also not
good enough.
They're also not good enough to get that record.
No.
That's cool. They're so bad. They're so bad they can't get.
Hey, wait. They'll still be the first team to be 0-16-1 though. If they lose all the games, otherwise.
True, get that
no
one.
one's ever done that.
That's
and if they tie another, that's even better.
And that's hard. That's hard to get that. So
that's fucking art. Mm-hmm. That would be artistic football luck.
Mm-hmm.
Bad luck, but still. Mm-hmm. Be the art of the football gods.
I get where you're coming from.
Baseball is fun again in Minnesota.
So baseball is not fun again in Minnesota because, of course, we all know that baseball is not happening right now. But there's still news. There's still news in baseball. Well, don't worry. It's going to come back. There are so many people clamoring on the Twitters and the internets that they wish that baseball was back. I'm one of them.
I'm one of them.
I retweet people saying that too on both the FuzzJock. Oh, that reminds me. If you like what you're listening to, and you probably don't like this episode a whole lot because there's only 2 Hests and there's usually 3, sometimes 4. But, right now, if you do like what's going on, make sure to follow us on the social medias. We're on TikToks. We're FuzzTalk Radio. And then there's also FuzzTalk Radio at Twitter, and at the FuzzJock Radio at Twitter. And there's Facebook and Instagram accounts that we don't update because we hate update and we don't like those Facebook stuff. But no meta. But follow us on the Twitters, and also if you like what we're doing, go to fuzztalkshop.com and buy some merch. We have t-shirts, we have shirts, we have t-shirts and more shirts and hoodies and t-shirts and mugs and socks and t-shirts and a bunch of different colors. And
with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, everyone knows you got to get Thanksgiving gifts.
Thanksgiving, well, not even Thanksgiving gifts, but more like just Friendsgiving and Friendsmasses and Native American days and
Friendiversaries.
What's the holiday that we're starting to change over to from Thanksgiving? Because fuck Thanksgiving. What's it called? Oh. There's a new one. I mean, it's like celebrating Native Americans.
Not the Pilgrims.
Yeah, celebrating Native Americans. So celebrate Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, go to. Almost losing track here, Charles. I'm trying to stay on topic. Go to fuzztalkshop.com, buy some merch. We have a brand new t-shirt. A Hess t-shirt is now available on fuzztalkshop.com. That's what I'm trying to get to. Baseball is fun again. World Series ended on Tuesday night. That's what the notes say.
Yeah, I'm reading it. I looked at the calendar, but I'm also realizing it's just what the notes say.
That's not true, Charles.
No.
Like I was saying, we usually both do the notes, or I don't know.
This one looks like your handwriting.
I was trying to give you a little bit more. What's the term? Responsibility. Yeah. Oh. Last week when I told you to do all the notes, and now here we are, and I don't even know what's going on with tonight's notes.
Well, this looks like your handwriting.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing you say, but I don't know. But the World Series did not end on Tuesday night. But I think what this is referring to is that when the World Series ended on Tuesday night, it's an alliteration, Charles. I don't know if you know what that term means, but no. So the collective bargaining agreement expires at midnight on December 1st and becomes if it becomes December 2nd. If it becomes December 2nd, and if there is no agreement, the expectation is the owners will lock out the players.
Uh-oh.
So that means that sounds like no baseball.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
And December 2nd is coming quick. It's already November 22nd.
Soon.
So that would put a freeze on, among other things, all transactions such as free agent signings and trades.
Huh. And we'll have a show just before that. We might have to do a.
Have you heard of any of this at all?
No, I haven't heard anything of this.
Because you're in the baseballs.
You just saw it in the notes. Yeah, I've also not been around my work the last 2 weeks.
That's right.
So no one told me anything.
Do we know how soon these things get signed usually?
I mean, they could sign it at literally 11:59 and that would be fine.
How big of a... Maybe this isn't even a big breaking news.
Well, I know that they've been having problems, though. The collective bargaining agreement is always a big hassle. And I know they're
Do we need to put that sound behind it? I'm sorry I interrupted your.
no.
There is breaking news. Oh, that is loud. That is really loud. We need to like one of these days we should send out a like email to. Oh wait, we don't have access to the emails. We don't even know where JMez is yet.
No.
Fuck. I was just gonna say we should send once we figure out where JMez is. We should send out some emails asking for new producers. Maybe to help us with these sounds so they're not so loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know if that's breaking news or not. This could be something that the Major League Baseball could. Maybe last year they didn't sign everything right away. So, the hot stove.
FuzzJockRadio. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
In NBA news, no WNBA news.
FuzzJockRadio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The WNBA just on the 18th of November, 2021. Isn't it weird that you say 2020, like it's November 20th, 2021? Like there's a lot of 20s lately. And it's going to be like that for a while.
Yeah.
They approved a new playoff format. Beginning with the WNBA's 26th season, the 8 teams with the highest winning percentage over a 36-game schedule, regardless of conference, will qualify for the playoffs and be seeded based on their record. All 8 playoff teams will participate in first-round bracket-style play consisting of 4 best-of-3 series.
And the 3 series go 3, 5, and 5.
Okay.
So the first series is a best of 3, the second is a best of 5, and then the finals is a best of 5.
Do we remember what it was like before?
I'm trying to remember because they changed it for I think they expanded it for the bubble.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember if it was to this or if this is actually just like a little expansion compared to what they did. Because I remember a lot of teams made it into the playoffs.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? In one bracket, first round play will. Okay, let's move down the notes here so I can read it. Here, ready?
Mm-hmm.
In one bracket, first round play will place the number 1 seed facing the number 8 seed and the number 4 seed versus the number 5 seed in the best of 3 series, with the winners advancing to a best of 5 semifinals series. I thought I could do like the Micro Machines guy, but I could not.
Then it got to the dashes. I bet those dashes threw you off. The best of 5 dashes.
Yep.
Sorry, that one's in my handwriting. I'm sorry. I should have wrote that better.
That's okay. So this isn't just like a Carl update. This is like the Wolves update sound. Update. This is when you know that you're getting into the Wolves territory. You know,
when you hear the lion.
When you hear the lion, you are
We're
now
talking Wolves.
Wolves. Well, NBA anyway, right? Well, no, shoot. Well, okay. So something happened. The Los Angeles Arena, the Staples Center, the naming rights has been bought for how many years? Does it say? It's like it said like 25 years or something like that. I remember hearing.
Keep reading. I'll find it.
Well, Singapore-based Crypto.com bought the naming rights. And so it's now going to be called the EG, and Crypto.com not only share a vision, but it is now called the Crypto.com Arena.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? That does not roll off the tongue.
So it's still 2041.
Boy, that's like 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if
20-year
if you're listening to this podcast in 2040, it's just 1 year away, and hopefully the new naming rights will sound better than Crypto.com.
Well, by then it'll be like the Multipass Center.
that sounds cool. I like that.
Yeah, because it'll be the future, so it'll be better.
I mean, if they would have said like the Crypto Arena, that's a little bit better, right?
But the company's called Crypto.com, so they have to use the name, which is stupid. That's the name. That's their name is Crypto.com, and they even have a coin. So there's a Crypto.com coin.
Do you want to talk crypto? I don't
No.
want to. I do want to talk.
It's just so funny that it's like this.
It's stupid.
It's already being a non-American company is already buying the naming rights to a fucking sporting arena for the next 20 years because it's just such a.
It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Anyway, let's talk about something else that's ludicrous.
Are we going into it?
Yeah.
Are we gonna actually get into this story here?
We're gonna get into this.
So LeBron James was ejected from yesterday's game over the Pistons. Yesterday, as in Sunday, just a day ago. That's what yesterday means, is like a day ago.
Oh, okay.
I
thought it was just a Beatles song.
For striking the Detroit center Isaiah Stewart in the face while jostling. That's a word. For rebounding position. So, yeah, okay. So LeBron and Isaiah Stewart. Okay, so Charles, you know how when you get a foul, you go to the free throw line, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people think that that's, ludicrous or, like not that cool, because like, basketball, like they get fouled and they get free shots. So it's not a man sport, like that's what people say. People don't like basketball. I think it's for other reasons as well. I just don't want to say it too loud to the back, because if you don't like basketball, my first thought is that you might have deep-seated racism in you, but I'll leave that to another conversation. But I would like to say that I think that basketball is one of the best sports out there.
75 years of the NBA.
You know why? Because of fouls. Because of fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Because of fouls, you have to be good. You have to be good at offense, and you have to be good at defense. You can't touch the other player, right? In a bunch of other fucking sports, you can touch the other player. You can move them out of the way. Physicalness, right? That's great. That I guess that's sports, right? Showing you how tough you are, right? Well, with basketball, it's all about finesse and tricking the other person into lulling them. Like Harden is like one of the best people to show this type of aspect, is lulling them into a slumber almost. It's like you can make moves that totally trick the player, and if they touch you, you get a free shot. And I think that's awesome. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
And you just have to be really good. I mean, people like Shaq, changed the game a little bit, but still the game changed around people like Shaq, and where Hack-a-Shaq was allowed because he was so big. I don't know. I really like basketball. And what happened here was that during a free throw, they line up, right? And then when they shoot, they jostle perfect word, jostle for position.
Yep.
They box each other out is what it's called. They put their elbows around, move around, like, and you get a little physical, whatever. And then LeBron James's elbow went up and hit the other guy in the face, and the dude started bleeding hard.
Yeah.
Like
He bladed when the camera went off him.
totally looked like he bladed. Absolutely. And he got mad.
Oh yeah.
And and people like during basketball games, people get mad and people
They make a
the
scene.
players will hold the other player back, the team will hold each other's teams back or whatever, so they don't go after the other guy. And a lot of it is just making a scene, right?
Yeah, it's the same as like baseball fights half the time.
It's nothing really. I mean, they're angry, and their emotions are valid, but like they're not really going to go and kill anybody or really start a brawl.
They're gonna keep their composure.
Holy shit, this was not that.
No.
This was not that at all. Did you see LeBron James' face when he noticed that, like, dude, like, that Isaiah was like really actually mad? LeBron's face was like, oh god, what did I get myself into? Type of face, and it was
Wow.
great. But yeah, dude started going at and he ran around and like pretending he was gonna go
They had
back.
to hold him back and subdue him four times where he stopped. So there were 3 times he stopped and acted like, okay, I'm done. I'm cool. Let's walk back. And then he turned around and he knocked people over and run past him. And then for the last one, he ran in the tunnel and tried running around the other side to come out the Lakers side. And they warned the Lakers that he was doing this.
Yeah, it was bad.
So they were ready.
It
It
was
was
bad.
fucked up.
And so both of like obviously Isaiah's getting in trouble. He's probably going to miss a couple games. The response to it's really interesting to me that they also like responded with LeBron getting ejected and also losing games, because to what I saw, it didn't look like he did that on purpose, but they gave him a flagrant foul. They must have looked at it closely and realized that he did do that on purpose, right? For King LeBron to get kicked, to lose a game over something like that.
I think it's really just about because it was a flagrant foul and it was so bad that they were just like, we have to, I think it's more of that.
Because
I don't think it's anything that's like
because it drew blood.
So egregious.
Because it drew blood. I bet a lot of it has to do with the blood.
It drew blood. That's all.
Because it looks so bad.
So if he wouldn't have bladed, I'm just gonna keep saying that's what he did.
Yeah, just crazy, just wild, absolutely wild. By the way, I am trying to not use the words crazy or insane anymore. I think that's a really good thing to do. Because there's a lot of other words to use to describe things other than crazy and insane. I'm also think that stupid is going to start becoming on that list too. I'm not going to tell people that things are stupid. It's goofy. It's really goofy that I would say something like that.
We'll learn,
right?
We'll learn new words.
Learn new words. Learn new words. Invent new words.
Let's invent new words.
Yeah. The Timberwolves have been doing great.
Oh my gosh, 4-game winning streak.
4 games. Yeah, I don't remember what the score was. 110 to like 90 something or something like that.
Yeah.
We had 138 game to 95, 115 to 90, 107 to 97. So they must have listened to the episode last week, and they really got going.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable what a turnaround they've made. But they were playing this good. It's just they've not only learned to close out games, but to dominate them.
And
because that was the problem before, was closing out a game. They'd give it up at the end.
What's really like, that's all they needed to do is just keep going. Yeah. And what's really neat too to see is that each of our top 3 players are exchanging, like, the first game that we won, Ant had 26 points. The second game, Carl had 25 points. And the game after that, Russell had 28 points.
Perfect.
It's perfect. And then there's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt in the mix, just getting rebounds, just doing assists, like being awesome.
And the other guys are getting 16, 20 points at the same time as the other people getting those 28, you know?
All
so
3 of them.
Great all around.
There was a stat that I don't remember what it was, but all 3 of them had over 20 points for like the last 5 games or something like that. It's great. It's great. They're doing awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had to sneeze. But you know what I will say is we are biting at the heels of the Los Angeles Lakers, which if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, would we be in like the place to either be at the same level as the Lakers, I would, or above, I would say that's ridiculous. But I kind of think the way the Wolves play, it really could be. Like the Lakers have not played very good this year. I mean, LeBron's not been there for most of it, so that's part of it. But it's interesting to say the Timberwolves are on a similar level as the Los Angeles Lakers. And it is kind of funny that we just tied or got into the same position as the Memphis Grizzlies, who we just dominated the other night, 138-95. So it is nice to see we're moving up the board, and now that we're biting at the heels of the Lakers, we're as good as them, in my opinion, right now.
It's great. I love it. It's fun to watch. And I was thinking about that earlier today. It's just like I'm not a bandwagon Timberwolves fan. Remember how we were talking about fans and stuff like that? I'm not.
We've been trying to promote them winning a championship since we started this show.
It's great.
It's always been their year, every year.
What is
slashing? This year it is.
Slashing is like that, you know?
I'm sorry. Once again, we need a production manager or something like that here. Once again, I did an audio clip over you talking. I apologize there, buddy.
I dare you.
This is the best show on earth. The National Hockey League with the Wild announced that they are partnering with. Oh, this is what I was talking about, dude. They're partnering with the Prairie Island Indian community to celebrate Native American Heritage Day. That's what it's called. On Friday, November 26th. That's what I want to celebrate.
Okay.
Native American Heritage Day. It's on the 26th. Signed into law.
The 25th will now be Thanksgiving.
Dude, this has been around. Yeah, well, this has been around since 2008. Like, why don't we hear about this more? Well, that's why we exist, right?
Yep. We're here to find the deep dives.
So, yeah, it honors Native Americans across the nation. The day celebrates the vibrant cultures, traditions, and heritages while recognizing the many contributions Native Americans have. The Minnesota Wild is partnering up with the Prairie Island Indian community to celebrate. And that's great. Mm-hmm. So, signed jerseys and a bunch of stuff.
Specially designed jerseys. Yeah, I like that.
A bunch of different things.
Wow, that's cool. I can't wait to see what those look like.
And
the Wild have been killing it.
They absolutely have. That's what I was just gonna mention. They've been just crazy.
They've come down a little bit since we last talked.
I just said the word that I don't want to say. I'm sorry.
What?
I said crazy. I don't want to say that word.
But
the Wild have been wild.
Good, even when they lose. Mm-hmm. Even when they lose, they look good. Like I like it.
Which is barely any.
Yeah.
So
go Wild.
Which just brings us to this.
We all know what that sound means, or what this
I forgot. What does it mean again?
It's time for the
Fuzz Question of the Week.
The Fuzz Question of the Week. Fuzz Question of the Week is when I ask the guests questions, and then they answer them with their answer, and then explains why their answer is that answer, and then they and then we just move on. We don't discuss why their answer is incorrect, or wrong, or just wild, obtuse, wild. So the question of the week is: Are you religious, and do you put up a Christmas tree? Or do you put up a Christmas tree, and are you religious? Are you religious and do you put up a Christmas tree? You don't.
I'm not religious, and I do put up a Christmas tree. But
Yeah,
I also
explain why.
because we get real trees and they smell great. But also I like decorating them, and it's fun. It's cute. Yeah, that's my answer. Fuzzy, do you answer this one or not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Hest, right?
So are you? What do you think?
I'm not
I know you've been
religious.
struggling.
I struggle with this question. Is that what you said? Is that what
I
you're gonna
think
say?
so. You answer for yourself.
I struggle with this question. No. So, Christmas trees. It's weird to me when people aren't religious and they put up Christmas trees, and then everybody's answer usually is, "Well, Christmas used to be pagan, and it's like a pagan holiday," and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That answer doesn't make sense to me either. Because are you really celebrating the pagan holiday? Or are you just
No.
like, it's weird to me that people that
it's just commercialism now. That's all it is.
So yeah, it is commercialism. We're not discussing this stuff. You're not discussing this with me. It's my answer, right?
Yeah, no discussing.
I don't know. It's a touchy subject for me because I don't like to do things that I don't believe in and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
However, I decided this year. Well, last year I put up a Christmas tree, but then I called it a FuzzJock tree because that's my last name and that's a real thing, right? A FuzzJock tree. And then this year I thought, I'm going to put up a FuzzJock tree. And then I looked back and I put it up on Twitter and then I look back on Twitter and I'm like, oh, I already said that last year. That's something that's yeah.
Fuzz question of the week.
I was supposed to say, and that was
Fuzz question of the week.
The Fuzz question of the week. So there's that.
Open wide for some soccer!
Soccer. You like that?
Yeah.
That was a good. I like that one. That's a fun topic thing. The Loons, Minnesota Wild, no, Minnesota United lost to the Portland Timbers in the playoffs. They lost 3-1 yesterday in full time.
They got the first goal in the game, but then proceeded to give one up just before the halftime, and then when they came back, Sebastian Blanco he had their number after that.
Fudge.
Yeah, and he almost actually got taken. He almost got taken out of the game before halftime because he was so roughed up. But when he came back afterwards, he was just like a man on a mission, and he scored like instantly.
It's like we're winning.
Yeah, he was like nah.
Yeah, because
nah.
Minnesota got the first goal, right? 1-0.
Yeah, we got the first one. But it was fun. It was a fun game. I mean, Portland's a really big fan base, and they were fun too. Yeah. Anyway, they were good to see their fans out and supporting them. They're just a big movement. They really celebrated their team out there, and it's the Minnesota Loons. At least they made it to the playoffs. That's at least the least we can hope for. But, and then we also had, sadly, our guest who was going to come is being inducted into the Mankato East Hall of Fame. And so we were going to do this story on how Jesse Graves is in the Hall of Fame, but he's not here. So we'll just mention that.
Yep. That was really cool. Wow. I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. I think it should be fine. What just happened is that I heard some noises and I looked over and my lizard tank was on fire.
What the? Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, we'll jump on to
I'm
the
really
AEW
happy that I have
news.
my door open. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's good news. It's good you had that open.
And I unplugged everything, so...
Oh, yeah, that's good. Breaking news.
Oh, I don't know where to go with this. I kind of want to just...
Yeah, let's just...
We're ending it. We're just going to end the rest of the episode.
Your house.
Because it is an hour in, so...
Yep.
We're good to go. So, what a great episode, bud.
Whoa.
We will talk to you in the future, and...
we love you.
We love you.
FuzzJockRadio.
Here's the deal. We're back to 500 now, okay? Now, all that work that we've done, we have to continue to move forward, okay? But we can't feel good about what we've done today, tomorrow. Today you can feel good, all right?
Talk about he's first team all defense. You ask me, hardest worker in the NBA, never stops. The best teammate to have. Hats off to him.
And I just love playing this game. Love the rivalry. Love these intense big games, and so I live for it.